Alright, welcome back to another video here at the Clark & Addison Gaming Company. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I am the designer and creator at Clark & Addison, and in this game I'm going to give I guess a preview. I don't know what to call it, but this is a game, code name Top the Key, which was given by someone who is a longtime supporter of my games, and so we are it's been revamped just a little bit. This is a game that I showed off maybe a year ago or so, and just as a means of introduction, there was someone on Facebook who said, you know what I really want is a game where I could choose the offense. So kind of like you can choose in a football game to run a particular kind of offense to fit your players, your team. He said he wanted a basketball game like where you could choose, and it wasn't just, you know, shoot here and rebound there, but you actually had a little bit of coaching strategy within the game. So I started to think about that, and I put together this sheet here, which gives you multiple different types of offenses. You can see pick and roll, 3-point, spot up, low post, ISO, or motion. These sort of the top level basketball type of offenses that you can employ. And then within each, there was like a focus of each one. So for the pick and roll, there are more slots for point guards and centers, and power forwards would be next. So it's like center, point guard, power forward, because you kind of have that high pick and roll at the top of the 3-point line, at the top of the key, and then you're either going to get a drive to the basket off of the roll, or you're going to get an open shot, either a jumper or a 3-pointer. That's sort of the idea of that two-man game. The 3-point shot gives you more 3-pointers, and you can see kind of in the 6, 7, and 8, whatever these three things are, that's going to be sort of the majority of those different shot types. So spot up, mostly getting 3-pointers and jump shots. The low post, obviously getting the ball to big men down on the block or driving to the basket. The ISO game, sort of what we saw in the 80s and 90s with clear outs and stuff like that. And then motion is just kind of a catch-all, more balanced offense. So running these on every single play, you can either choose which one you want and you just kind of stick with that, or you can change it every single play, or you can go with it for a little bit and then move to another offense for a little bit, or you can simply roll a 6-sided die and then use whatever offense comes up for that die. This game is featuring the 1997-98 Miami Heat against the Bulls from the same year. We have a score, or a timer here, and it's basically just 50 possessions. We're gonna stop at 44 because that was what the number is for these two teams. I worked off of the pace for each team. The pace was averaged 88 between the two teams, so we'll do 44 per quarter. I'm sorry, it averaged 44 per team, 88 for both of the teams together. And then we also have, this is a key sheet that I've added into the game, and this just has, hopefully you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah. So what do we do when there's a missed shot? What do we do on a block shot? There's a rare play that can come in here on a 100. So when you're looking for the player, it's a rare play. So there's lots of different things here between alley-oop and goaltending and shot clock violations and technical fouls and things like that. Just kind of rare plays that don't happen very often. And then what do we do whenever we have a fast break, which you can see some of these rebounds and blocks turn into fast breaks. So what do we do on that? A good portion of it is just there's no shot that gets off. You just kind of pull it out and go into the setup offense, and then what player gets it. And then we have a couple of columns here to figure out assists and steals, and there's kind of a unique rating system, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but here Each player is rated for assists, rebounds, steals, and blocks. And it's for assists, it's A1 through 4. Rebounds is R1 through 4. Steals is S1 through 4. Blocks is B1 through 4. And it has to do with how many above average they are with their per game averages. So I figured out the per game averages for all players in the league, and then when I look at each one, how many rebounds above the average is this player, and then that'll sort of stratify them out into these different categories. So the point of that is to try to get the ball into the hands and to sort of shape the stats toward the way that the stats actually work. So you'll be able to see that. So Alonzo Mourning is a B1. He averaged 2.2 blocks per game. You can see that's quite a bit more than the rest of the team. PJ Brown at 1.3 I think is next up, but nobody else is over 1. So these are going to be B1 and B2. These are going to be your shot blockers for the most part. You can see B4 all the way up and down the line here. There is a B3 here for Isaac Austin and a B2 for Dwayne Coswell, and a couple of B3s here for backup centers and power forwards. Luke Longley, a B2, had 1.1 blocks per game. And then actually Scottie Pippen is a B2. He averaged 1 block per game. He's already in this game. He's got 1 already in this game. Longley has 2. Rodman has 1. And so we've had a few blocks so far. The game is so the game is tied 31-20, or I'm sorry, not tied. The game score is 31-21. It is Miami over Chicago. Chicago's not had a great shooting time here early on. Just Michael Jordan with 13 points leads the team. Otherwise, the next highest is Scottie Pippen with 4, and just not a lot showing up. Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning both have 8. Bashan Leonard has 7. Mashburn has 4, although he's missed quite a few shots. Just hasn't been on. And PJ Brown with 4. And at this point, we haven't had any backups into the game yet. 2 fouls for Mashburn, 2 fouls for Luke Longley, so might be time to replace them here at the start of the second quarter. And we are keeping track of team fouls. Both teams I think got into the bonus in the first quarter, so they'll start over. And I'm waiting for my what you would call it, I guess my scoreboard phone to charge up. It's quite dead right now, so we'll just walk through some of the basics of the game. So the game is going to come, or at least at this juncture, it's going to come with 15 players. So they're going to sort of look like this whenever you get them. They'll be put onto the sheet by the team and then by their minutes played. So you're going to get your first line of players are going to be your starters for the most part. And you get their minutes played here, and you can clearly see who's played the most minutes. You can see Kukoc comes in quite a bit, and maybe they go a little bit smaller to bring Kukoc in off the bench. But he played 30 minutes a game, but the rest of these guys kind of not really. So you can see your main starters here. If I pull this up, you can see that the first line is going to have a place for your starters, and well, really the people who are on the floor at the moment. So you can see they're all clearly marked, but when you get down here, these spots are not marked. So you can put these bench players in any position. You can think of it as You know, you can go down. I have them sort of listed in their positions here on a depth chart kind of thing, but you could put it in any way that makes sense to you. If you have a rotation, that maybe you switch in bigs or smalls into positions where maybe it doesn't make the most sense. But there are no limitations on where you can play. So Luke Longley can play in the point position if you want to, and he would guard Tim Hardaway. I haven't figured out any penalties yet, but obviously if you do that, there should be some sort of penalty for having this 7-foot player guarding this guy who's 6 feet tall. Just there's differences in all kinds of things when you do that, sort of playing out of position. So I got to kind of think about that. What would that penalty be like? And then we can see our starters here. We are our starters here. So I've listed them here. There's a kind of a basic score sheet that comes with everything. Has the players and their positions. There's players here for bench players. You just basically keep track of your 2-pointers, 3-pointers, free throws, and then all of your game level stats here that you can keep. This is my little addition for team fouls. And so I'm keeping up with all the stats there. It's taking a little bit longer to play because of that. But I'm also trying to figure out gameplay and stuff like that. So this is me working my way through. Basically what I do is I have to try a few things, go back to the drawing board, write out, you know, I've changed this chart several times. I've added in rare plays. I've had to change some of these things over here, and so I'm just kind of working my way through it, making sure that I have everything that I need whenever the play type comes up or whenever some sort of detail comes in. Okay, let me put you on hold and I'll get the score back up. All right, so now we got our scoreboard application back up. You can see Atlanta over Chicago. Atlanta is going to be, anytime there's a delineation for the team, they'll be red. Chicago, they'll be black. It's a little more difficult whenever both teams are the same color. So to play the game, the fundamentals of the game are 2 D10s, 2 D6s, and a D20. You can add in extra dice. This is just to help me to choose the plays. Although I think I might, I think I need to go ahead and put the Bulls onto a track because they're just not playing so well. Pippen's not getting very many shots, and Luke Longley maybe is shooting a little bit too much. So I think I'm going to put them onto the I don't know if I'll use the ISO or the spot up, one of those two. And we'll make sure that these two are going to be really good for them. They're not quite in the we got to start shooting threes kind of range. And they don't have great 3-point shooting on the floor right now. Longley is non-existent. Rodman less than 20%. Pippen the only real threat at 32%. MJ just 24%. In 1998, that, you know, he was a better shooter toward the end of his career, but not exactly a high percentage 3-point shooter. And then only 19% for Ron Harper. But we do have Steve Kerr in the wings. Obviously, 44% from 3 is really salty. Kukoc, a good 3-point shooter, at 36%. Scotty Burrell. There's some guys on the bench here. Judd Bushler, who can shoot it a little bit better if we needed to get some people into the game. All right, so let's get this one started, and I'll just kind of slow play and walk you through everything. I don't know if I'll be able to get through the first or the second quarter to get us to halftime. We only have 44 possessions, so we're starting at 1. And you're not going to be able to see the score clock over here, so I'll keep it just kind of top of mind when I'm talking. So the first thing you want to do is you want to roll for the play type. Like I said, for the Bulls, I'm just going to choose maybe the ISO game, and so I'll just make a choice for this one. And then I don't need this on there. I'll use this to track who has the ball. That's all I do. So I roll both D10s and both D6s. You can see here there's a space for both D10s to be a 1 to 100 roll, and then we add the D6s for a 2 to 12 roll. So I get that first roll out there. It's going to be a 6. This is going to be a drive, and we're going to read the bull's color first, which is black. So 0-7, which you can see here is a 1 to 10. That's going to go to the power forward. So it's going to be Dennis Rodman with a drive to the basket. And we have a couple of things here. He's being guarded by PJ Brown. This number in the top right is his defensive number. So we actually take that on every play, every shot, and we add it to whatever the number is here. So we have a field goal percentage for drives, for jumpers, that's 2-point jumpers, 3-point shots, and free throw percentage. So these are our numbers that we're going to use for each shot. And it's a drive to the basket. We have a -1, so 60.1 is a 59.1. And on a drive to the basket, I've been rolling this die here, so it's kind of a catch-all D6 for me. And what this does is, if it's a 1, that drive is going to be a foul. And so if I make the shot, it'll be a chance for a 3-point play. If I don't make the shot, if this D100 roll is greater than 59.1, his adjusted drive number, if it's greater than 59.1, that's a miss. So obviously it'll be counted as a miss on the stat sheet, but he is going to be fouled, and then he'll go to the line for 2 shots. So if it's any other number, there's no foul, and he either misses or makes it. So I roll all these 3 together. It is a 53. That's less than 59.1. So the shot is made. A 1 means a foul. So Rodman goes to the basket, puts it in, and gets fouled. So it's going to be a 3-point play. The foul is going to be on PJ Brown, who is guarding him. And again, you can put these guys and guard them, put them on whoever you want. If we wanted to put Morning on PJ Brown, we could do that. You could put Mashburn on Rodman, or whatever you want to do, or simply substitute him out. That's his second foul. So we can go ahead and just substitute him out for Terry Mills. So simply gonna just move him in there. We're gonna put PJ Brown on the bench, and he'll sit for a bit. And so I'm just gonna add in Terry Mills. So Rodman goes to the line for 1 shot. It's a 14. 14 is less than 55, so he completes the 3-point play. He is now 1 for 3 from the line, and that's how the play gets going. So for Miami, they're doing a good job with just using whatever offense comes up. We'll move our possessions. Possessions are a little bit funny because possessions, offensive rebounds don't move the possession marker, and there's just some different things. It's when there's an actual change of possession that happens. So we see our play is going to be a 5. So to the ISO, we have a 9. That's a 3-point shot, and this time we read the red die first. So a 0-7 is going to go to the power forward again. Now in this situation, we have Terry Mills with a 3-point shot. Is that what we want? It's not so bad. 30.9% is actually pretty good for Terry Mills. And so we're going to let him shoot the 3. If it had been PJ Brown, he has a blank. He didn't shoot any 3-pointers. That's what that means. If it was Isaac Austin, he shot some 3s but didn't make any of them. I give you the out. You can pass the ball up to 2 times on each possession. And so if it gets to a point where the 3rd time you have a blank and it's still a 3-point shot, I'm considering that a shot clock violation. So kind of have to see how that goes. So I'm not going to pass the ball. I'm going to let Terry Mills shoot, and he's being guarded by Rodman, who's a -1. So he's now a 29.9 on his shot. Now for jump shots, you're going to roll this D10 here, and I'm going to roll the D20 as well, because what happens is on a missed shot, we're going to look at this to find out, is there an offensive or defensive rebound? Are there extra fouls or fast breaks? So in order, you could roll these separately, where you roll these first to see whether there's a shot, make or miss, and then roll the D20 separately. It's not much work to roll them all together, so I like to do that. And if it's a made basket on a jump shot or a three-pointer, then we're going to use the D20 to figure out the assist. So it's a little bit of a shortcut. So 87 is greater than 29.9, so that's going to be a missed shot. And like I said, we're going to use this to determine the rebound. And 11 is just simply finding it here. 11 is a defensive rebound to an R1. And we do have an R1. That's going to be Dennis Rodman. He's the only R1 on the floor. These guys, so R4, 3, 3, 1, and 3. So that rebound is going to be to Dennis Rodman, so I'll mark that down. And the miss is going to go to Terry Mills, who misses on his first three-point shot. And so really that's, it's a lather, rinse, repeat at that point. So we're going to stay in the ISO with the Bulls. We need to move our possessions. So this is the third possession of the second quarter. We've got an 8. That's going to be a drive to the basket. So it's a dribble drive for the center. So it's going to be Luke Longley going to the basket. He's guarded by Mourning. Mourning is a -1, so it turns his drive to a 58.7. Like I said, with the drive, we want to add in, I like to add in both the sort of the modifier D6 and the D20, just in case there's a miss. So on the drive, we have a 66. He is a 58.7, so that's going to be a miss. However, we do get a foul, and so this one can be safely ignored. So missed shot, but a foul on the play. And Luke Longley is going to go to the line for 2 shots. He is a 73.6, which will round up to 74. Black first, he makes the first one, and a 61, he makes the second one. So Luke Longley with a couple of free throws here to start the second quarter. He's got 2 points, and we also add the foul to Zoe. That's his first foul, first team foul in the second quarter. And then we'll add our points in. Bulls cut the lead to 6. And Miami with the ball, so they're going to go into the spot up play. And 11 is a non-shooting foul, so we're going to look at 53. 53 is for the small forward, and so that's going to be Jamal Mashburn with the ball. And I simply look at the small forward for the other team for the foul. So that's going to be Pippen's first foul, and that will also add to the Bulls' foul total. So then with that, it's the same possession, so we don't move the possession. I believe on a non-shooting foul, it does not move possessions. There's a little bit of controversy in the sabermetric world about possessions, because that really determines kind of the baseline number for a lot of things. It's something per possession. And there's a little bit of controversy in the sabermetric world. Not controversy, but just a difference of opinion about what makes a possession, that type of thing. For our purposes, a turnover, something like a shot clock violation, if there is a fast break or a missed shot that leads to a defensive rebound, those are all gonna, a block that goes to the defense, those are all gonna represent a change of possession. If there is an offensive rebound or a block shot that the offense gets back, if the ball goes out of bounds, we're going to roll a D6 die to see does it go to the offense or the defense, kind of 50-50 offense defense. If it goes to the offense, we'll continue the possession as it is. If it goes to the defense, then that represents a turnover and a possession change. A steal obviously is a turnover. So there's a little bit of nuance there, and the reason for that is to make sure that we get enough shots into the game. The first game, the teams shot really well. You can see there were 79 field goal attempts, and for these guys it was 93. So it gets us into the right range as far as field goal attempts. Now that game was played with me like playing a quarter, making changes, playing a quarter, making changes. So that game just kind of gets thrown out. The fourth quarter was played with these rules, and this will be the first game where I play sort of all through with the same setup. All right. All right, so we're rolling again. So we had a foul, and we're rolling again, keeping the possession as the third one. Is that Bulls? Miami Bulls? Actually, it should be the fourth possession. So we have the number 5 play, the ISO play. 6 is going to be a drive to the basket, and a 72 is going to be who? That is the point guard. So Tim Hardaway going to the basket. He's guarded by Ron Harper, who's a -3 defender. Excellent defender, Ron Harper is. The defensive number is the box plus defensive box plus minus. So kind of a general catch-all defensive number. Excuse me, based on their box scores. And it's sort of one of those numbers that's been calculated throughout history. There's a little bit of controversy with that one too, but I'm looking for like a general defensive number. I might have to go to defense rating. We'll see how that goes, because defense rating might be a little bit better because it gets a little bit stronger, especially as you get to the big men. So that is a little bit in flux, and we'll see how defense should probably be more effective than what it shows here. Ron Harper's a -3, so on a drive that turns him into a 55.4, and so we're going to roll again the D10, our spare D6. You could also roll this D6 for that. There's no reason that you wouldn't be able to just add in the D20, and so no foul on the play. A 44 is less than 55, and so Tim Hardaway gets to the basket for on the drive, and there's no foul on the play. On a drive to excuse me, a drive to the basket, you don't have to assign an assist. It's a little bit nebulous, I think, in some ways, but usually if a player takes more than a couple of dribbles toward the basket, you nullify any assist. So we're going to keep it here for the Bulls, so we didn't need that. So next up is a 10. 10 is a non-shooting foul. We read black first for the Bulls. 54 is going to be to the small forward, so that's going to be a foul on Mashburn. We're going to have to get him out of the game as the clock stops. Mash with three fouls, so probably should have replaced him before now, but he's going to have to sit probably for the rest of the quarter. So Mashburn with a foul. That actually goes into their team fouls, 2 team fouls for Miami, and we roll again. Oh, we don't need that for the Bulls. I'm just trying to make sure that we get the ball into MJ and Scottie Pippen's hands, and it's probably better to run the spot-up offense, to be honest. So we have a 5. 5 is a jump shot, and 65 is going to go to the point guard. So this is going to be Ron Harper with a jumper, 31.5%. Not Harper's strength. His strength is the driving to the basket, but we're going to let him shoot here. Again, we need the 2 D10s and a D20. He's guarded by Hardaway, who's a -1. That makes him a 30.5 on the jump shot. We have a 10. and that's going to be a good jumper with the assist. And the way we see the assist is we look at, it's a 9, so the 9 goes to an A1 assist player. Now we look and see A3s, A2, we don't have an A1, so in that case on an assist I usually just say it's an unassisted bucket. So he makes his own shot and he gets 2 points, and so 6-point lead again for Miami. And we move our marker 1. Sorry. There's a few moving parts, just kind of get your own flow about how you want to do things. So 5, we're going to stay in the ISO offense, and we have a 9. That's a 3-pointer, and that's going to go to 69. So a 3-pointer to Tim Hardaway. Hardaway is 2 for 3 from 3-point land, and so we're going to take a shot there. He's a 35% shooter. -3 is 32.1. We have a 64, so that's going to be off the mark. He'll miss that shot. And we have a 5 on the rebound. 5 says defensive rebound R2, and that leads to a fast break. So we got no R2. So in the case where there is a rebound with no player to assign the rebound to, this will be the same for steals, and if there's a forced assist, it'll be the same thing as well. So on a rebound, what we do is we go one level, we're going to consider it lower. So one level worse. So we have an what do we have, R2, and then we need to look now at R3. So we don't go up, because the odds are that you might have someone who has one level up at an R1, but those are like few and far between. There's only like 12 of those in the league. So those are your guys averaging what is it, greater than 6 rebounds over the average. So you're talking in the 8, 9, 10, 12 rebounds per game range. So there just aren't that many guys at the R1 level. They're more at the R3. So I would say go down. You can also just choose. That's a totally legit way. You want to feed rebounds. Like if we wanted the rebound to go to, we want to get more into Dennis Rodman's hands. I mean, he averaged 15 boards a game. In the last game, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He had 11 in the last game. So he's going to pick up his fair share, but you can sort of feed those his way if you wanted to. An average of 15 means that he's getting at least 15. I mean, sometimes more than 15, sometimes a little bit less. So you can feed a particular player if you want to. You can simply go by the highest rated rebound or the highest rebound guy on the team, on the floor at the time. That would be Rodman. Or you can roll to decide. And what we have is we have an R3. So we have 3 R3s. And so we think of them as 1, 2, and 3, left to right. And what I'm going to do, since we have 6 numbers here, a 1 or 2 will go to MJ, 3 or 4 goes to Scottie Pippen, 5 or 6 goes to Luke Longley. Since we have 3 players, this 6 can be divided up evenly. So we have a 3, and that's going to be a rebound to Scottie Pippen. So that's sort of how I think about that. That becomes a little bit more intuitive as you get into the game. And again, so Hardaway with the miss, and we go off onto the fast break. Now we have a fast break column to determine what happens on the fast break. This is a 1, and so we see a 1 is a shooting foul. Now who gets to go to the line? That's a good question. And we're going to roll here a 43, or I'm sorry, we don't need that, we need the D20. So 17 is going to go to the small forward. So that's actually Pippen. Maybe he just takes it the length of the floor, and he takes it to the rack and gets fouled. So we're going to need to shoot a couple free throws here. We'll call that foul on Keith Askins. You could also roll to see who the foul goes on. You could roll off the same chart here. So a 20 would be for the small forward. That gets us to where we want to where we want to be. So you could simply do that as well. So let's look at 2 free throws. 77.7, so we'll round that up to 78 for Pippen. We'll give the foul to Askins, who is in the game now for Mashburn. So 13 foul. I think I've got that right. Maybe it's 4th. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's actually the 14th foul for Miami, and they are now in the bonus, or the Bulls are in the bonus. First one, 63, up and good. Second one, 72, up and good. And so Pippen, he's 4 for 4 from the line. He's got 6 points. And we'll roll these. And the Bulls cut the lead to 4. So I think that was a 5. So we have a 2. That'll be the 3-point offense. We have a 9, which is going to be a jump shot. 2-point jump shot for the small forward, Keith Askins. Askins guarded by Pippen. Pippen is a -2 defender, so that takes him down to a 21.3. Now, I don't like, that's not a great percentage, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pass. Okay, so I'm just going to pass the ball. We stay in the same offense, so we don't need to roll that one. I'm just going to declare that I'm going to pass the ball, and so now we just sort of get a fresh roll here. That's going to be 100. 100 is going to be a rare play. So you can see here 100 is a rare. And we don't have rare plays by the different types of play, so we can just kind of ignore that. We have 100, and what we need to do is roll the d20 again. We get a 13. 13 on a rare play. Fighting the power forward. Both players are ejected. Not totally unheard of with Dennis Rodman. So maybe you got everything a little chintzy and dicey there. So Dennis Rodman gets thrown out of the game, and so does Terry Mills. So we're going to call him disqualified and disqualified. So we need a new power forward. It's going to be Jason Caffrey. Actually, no, we're going to go for offense here. We're going to go and put Kukoc in at the power forward spot. So we're going to have to get a little creative with our rotation here. So I'm glad that happened. Let's put Strickland into the game. So this is the line between the two teams. Don't know if you can see that very well, but so Mills and Dennis Rodman get into it, and they are both ejected from the game. We are going to roll this possession again. So let's just start all the way over. We get a 5. That's going to be an ISO. And a 4 will be a non-shooting foul. This is on the center. So that'll be Luke Longley with the foul. That's actually his 3rd. Second team foul for the Bulls here in the quarter. And let's get Big Bill Winnington into the game. Love listening to Bill Winnington on the Bulls broadcasts. So we get a non-shooting foul. Let's keep it here with the possession. The Bulls are not, or the Heat are not in the bonus yet. The Bulls are. So we get a 6. That's going to be a drive to the basket. 76 is for the point guard. And that will be Hardaway getting to the basket again. And let's roll all these. No foul on the play. 56 is, he is a 55.4. So 56 is just off the rim. And that's going to be a defensive rebound to an R1. which we don't have. He has been ejected from the game, and so we have a bunch of R3s. And that's going to be, we have 3 R3s, so that's going to be MJ with the rebound. His 4th board of the game, Hardaway with the miss. And a little bit of a scoreless stretch here for Miami. 9 possessions here into the second quarter. We got a 3. 3 is going to be a steal. So let's figure out first who made the turnover. So 34. That's going to be MJ with the turnover. His first turnover. As the ball is stolen by, and we roll our D20. We check our steal chart here. D20 is to an S4. So not a likely candidate to steal. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those on the floor though. So when we have 4, what we'll do is we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if it's a 5 or a 6, you can go by whoever has the highest number of steals per game. You can simply choose. There's different ways that you can do that. So we don't have to do that. It's Vashawn Leonard with the steal as he takes it off. Relieves Michael Jordan of the ball. And we go back the other way. So a steal counts as a possession. 33-29 is our score. We got a spot up offense here. A 6 is going to be a jump shot, 2-point jumper, and that's going to go to Tim Hardaway. So Hardaway is a 39.9. He goes down to a 36.9 or a 37. That's going to be a miss. So Hardaway 1 for 3 here in the second quarter. 17 is going to be a defensive rebound to an R1. Again, we don't have an R1. We have R3s and R4s on the floor. So 1, 2, 3. That'll be Kukoc with the board. And he starts the fast break. So Tony Kukoc with the rebound. And we get the fast break going the other way. On the fast break, this will be the setup offense. So they're going to get back into the offense. It's the ISO offense for the Bulls. Do one more possession. We got a 7. That's going to be a jump shot to the point guard. So that'll be Ron Harper with the jumper. 31.5 goes down to a 34.5. Let's let him take the shot, see if he can get on the board. He's got 4 points actually. A 38 is going to be too much for the jumper as it goes off the back iron, and that'll be a defensive rebound to an R3. Only person with that profile is Strickland, so Strickland with the board. Let's get him into the game. So you can see there's some complexity here. Quite a bit of detail with this game. But it does make sense when you're playing through it. The game makes sense. It's just like figuring out all the different parts. And then, you have obviously each individual player here. So Mark Strickland with the rebound. The miss goes to Ron Harper. Too strong on the jump shot. And Miami in the ISO offense with the jump shot. 63, that's going to go to the point guard, Hardaway again. So you can see Tim Hardaway getting quite a few shots. He averaged 18 and 8 assists. That's going to be a good shot. 15 on the assist is an A2. And there is no A2 on the floor, so he creates his own shot and he puts it in for a bucket. 35-29, 6-point lead again for Miami. Miami won the first game, but like I said, the game was all over the place, so kind of hard to judge everything by that first game. 6, we got a drive to the basket. This is going to be MJ, I believe. Yep. So Jordan takes off for the basket. His drive number is 64.4. He's guarded by Vashawn Leonard, not a great defender. So it goes up to 65.4. So that's the number to beat for MJ. The number is 21, and he gets the foul. So that's going to be a foul on Leonard. That'll be his second foul. And 15 foul. And MJ puts it in for a bucket. 21 is definitely much less than 65. So Jordan with 2, he's got 15 in the game. And we'll give him the shot from the line. 18. So he puts the 3-point play. Traditional 3-point play for Air Jordan. And that sends us back down the floor. We're at the 14 possession mark, 30 left in the quarter. I have to shut it down in just a few minutes, but giving you a good sense of the game here. 5, the ISO offense. You can see that it picks up a little bit of speed. I'm having to do a lot of explaining and things like that, but it doesn't take quite as long as it feels. There's just a lot of things at the beginning to just kind of remember. So jump shot for Vashawn Leonard. Leonard, good percentage, 40.6. He's guarded by MJ, which you can't see his number there, but Jordan is a -1. So 39.6 is what we have to beat for Vashawn Leonard. So Leonard with MJ up on him, a 19, is going to be up and in as he drains the 2-point jump shot. And let's check out the assist. The assist goes to an A2. We don't have any of those, so he simply creates his own shot. Yep. Let's put the Bulls in the spot up offense. So we have a 5. That's going to be a 3-point shot for the power forward. Now we got Tony Kukoc in the power forward spot. I don't mind him shooting some threes. He's actually a 36.2% shooter, 35.2 with Strickland's defensive adjustment. So 35.2, 35 is what we have to beat. It's a 39. Oh gosh, right off the front rim. And it'll be an offensive rebound though to an R2, which we don't have an R2, we have R3s. So the rebound is going to go to Jordan. So Kukoc with the miss on the 3. But MJ comes in with the offensive rebound. And that's going to get us back into the set offense. So let's roll again. Again, I'm not going to move the possession because it's still the same possession with an offensive rebound. 6 will be a jump shot, and this is going to go to Ron Harper. So Ron Harper is a 30.5. We got a 42. That's going to be off the mark. And this time the rebound is going to go to an R1, which we don't have. Next best is an R2, so that'll be Morning. And Zoe rips down the board. Harper, a couple misses in a row here. And let's play out one more possession, and then I'll have to shut this one down. But you're getting a good first look at this game, and I'll continue to work on it. 5 is going to be the ISO game again. 7 is a jumper. That goes to the small forward. That's going to be Keith Askins with the opportunity jump shot. He is a 23.3. Pippen is a -2. And it's an 80. That's off the mark. A 1 is going to be an offensive rebound though. And this one has a special marking. So you can see offensive rebound R1, 2P means he goes right back up with the shot. So whoever the R1 is, which we don't have, that's going to be Zoe. Zoe gets the offensive rebound, and he's going to go right back up with it for 2 points, automatic 2 points. So the possession ends there, and we are going to end this video as Morning puts in a bucket on the offensive rebound. 39-32 is our score. We are about a third of the way through the second quarter in this one. And so lots of detail here. You can see 3 fouls for Luke Longley. The Bulls have been taking it to him a little bit. 2 fouls for Leonard, 3 fouls for Mashburn, 2 fouls for PJ Brown. PJ Brown still in the game. Dennis Rodman out of the game as he got into a fight with Terry Mills. And both power forwards are out of the game. You can see here MJ with quite a bit of scoring. Tim Hardaway taking quite a few shots. So is Zoe. Threes are concentrated with Tim Hardaway at this point. But could just as easily be given to any of these guys. And we got a few bench players coming in so far. So the Bulls have 2 team fouls. The Heat have 5, so the Bulls are in the bonus if they keep taking the ball to the rim or getting some of these non-shooting fouls. You can see if the Bulls stay in the ISO, there are 2 pretty good opportunities for non-shooting fouls. So that's kind of how you have to read this. So these in the middle, between 5 and 9, those are going to be your most called play types or play results, and then it just sort of goes gradually. So you can think of it as a pyramid like this, where 7 is the longest and the most chances. 2 is the fewest, so you're going to sort of cut down on your turnovers on this one, cut down on steals, but fouls are going to go up. Drives and 2-point jump shots are going to be a premium. So if you're looking for 3-pointers, you probably shouldn't be using this one. You should use the 3-point offense. Again, you can move between these offenses on every play by using some sort of 1 to 6 modifier die, or you can simply choose which one you want, and that will, largely who you have on the floor here is going to affect that. So we got 3 guys here with 70+% on their drives, so that's a pretty good, you want to be in an offense that's going to get you to the bucket quite a bit, which I think this low post offense, that's what I used in the first game, and they just tore them up. So the Bulls couldn't do anything about it. They just kept driving to the basket, especially with Morning. He's almost 76% on his drives to the basket. So 3 out of every 4 shots he's going to make when he drives to the hoop. Same thing if PJ Brown is in there. The Bulls, not quite as good when you do that, but they all shoot free throws really well. So that's part of it too. And they all have pretty good jumper percentages, especially MJ, almost 44% on 2-point jump shots. He was basically automatic. And not a great 3-point shooting team. So we're probably going to stay out of this unless they did start shooting some threes at the end of the other game, because they just needed to score some points. And I think it was Steve Kerr. Kerr got into the game. He was 1 for 1. Kukoc 1 for 2. Pippen hit 3. MJ hit 1. So they had some 3-point shots in the first game, but not a great 3-point shooting team. So it's going to be Bulls ball, and I don't know if I moved that possession, but I'll move it. And so that's where we're going to stay, 39-32. And this is a pretty good introduction to the game. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're interested, just let me know. This is a game that you would be interested in. Again, I've created the entire 97-98 season, and I'll probably just release that out when I'm ready to, and you'll be able to play it. I'll release it out to the Tabletop Hoops, Basketball Board Games Facebook group, and so that will be Rod Hess's Facebook group, and I'll also put it on the Clark and Addison Gaming Facebook group, and I'll just put it into the file section. You'll be able to play it. This will replace what I've done before, which was just kind of this part here and a little bit more basic. This is a little bit more fleshed out, especially with the little more thought out with the cards. Again, you'll get 15 players per team, which is almost everybody. There's a lot of teams there's like 1 player you don't get. Some teams you get everybody. Some teams there's 4 or 5 players. Like if they're really bad, then you don't get everybody because they traded a bunch of people and brought a bunch of new people in. So it just kind of depends, but you're going to get 15 players. That's going to be the majority of, some of these guys are just not going to get into the game. That's your right end of the bench if you just need to kind of players. But these first 2 lines of players are the guys who are going to be subbing in most of the time. And you can determine their your rotations by looking at their minutes played and just kind of flipping them into the game as needed. All right, I think that's it. That's a pretty good introduction to the game, and I'll keep playing it and deciding where it goes, how it goes. If you have any comments or suggestions about anything that got sticky in here, hey, maybe if you did that, or could you add this or whatever, just let me know. All right, I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.